In this lesson, we will explore polarization, what is that, and how to visualize it at least with the help of an animation. And we will do this formula, which is Malus Law, I equals to I naught cos square theta. And the common problem that you do according to the calculation, I'll show that in the calculator as well. So what is polarization? Polarization basically filtration, or you can say to make sure that the wave only oscillates, or the particles of the wave only oscillates along just one plane of our choosing. A diagram actually explains this very well. So for example, if we had a filter or a window like this one, a wave moving like this will be unable to pass through it because there is no space for the upwards and downwards movement. So the wave will completely be destroyed. Similarly, if this wave had to move, for example, then we'd have to choose a filter that actually allows this movement freely. So now in this situation, the wave moving upwards and downwards, or the particles moving upwards and downwards, can pass through it. Similarly, if we had a filter like this one, then the wave that it would allow, or the slot like this one, should actually be in its own plane. So it should be moving left and right like this, and it will be easily able to pass through it. If we move with this idea to the next diagram, we can see that this is, when we say unpolarized, it means that it has both fields as a part of the wave. Now you can see that the slit has an opening that is like this, and only the particles that are vibrating or oscillating in the upwards and downwards plane like this one were able to pass through it. The particles that are trying to oscillate left and right, like this one, they were unable to pass through because the wave has no space for them to go through. So I hope that this idea is clear. Okay, let's look at another visualization. In this one, we can see that the filters again are aligned like this. So particles through them can only move which have an oscillation upwards and downwards. Particles who wants to move left and right will be unable to pass through this. So what has happened in this situation is that all the other orientations which were apart from this central orientation, which is exactly like this filter, were able to pass through it, and the rest of them have been cancelled out. So any other orientation was not accepted, was not allowed to pass through, especially this left and right, because there is no space for it. So it will be filtered out. Let's look at this in terms of the visualization, and let's look at the formula that we have to do. The formula is I equals to I naught I square cos square theta. What does that mean? It means that I naught cos of square theta. Now what is I naught? I naught is the original wave that you've introduced to the filter, and I will be the wave that is actually coming out of the filter. So I naught is the introduced or the original wave, unpolarized. This is unpolarized light, and this is the polarized one. How much intensity do you get after passing through the filter? And the angle between the filter and the orientation of the wave will matter. Now, one thing that you do incorrectly over here is that if the angle between the plane of the filter and on the wave is actually, let's say, 40 degrees, then please make sure that this is actually I naught cos 40 and then its whole square. So what you're going to do, you will calculate cos 40 first, and then you will take the square of that answer. Do not take the square of the angle. Okay, so this is a common mistake that I've seen with the students. So that is how we use the formula. Now let's see the visualization, how this is actually going to cause this. Because if I look at the cos function is important in terms of this. I notice that the cos function actually goes like this in mathematics. So this is at 90 degrees, cos function gives me a 0 value, and at 0 degrees, cos gives me an answer of 1, maximum answer. I will see this, I will look at this, and I will observe this exactly same idea in the animation as well. So look at how this filter is being arranged over here. So see, in this situation, the filter is exactly parallel, is exactly the way the wave is supposed to be. So you can see, ignore these lines. You can ignore the parallel, the horizontal lines. Just look at the wave that is passing through it. So this, in this situation, if we were to see the light before the filter, this light is actually I naught, and the light after crossing the filter is actually I. And the angle between the plane of the particles and the plane of the filter will actually decide how much light passes through, and the angle will be actually cos square of theta. Now let's see how this is going to affect this. Okay, so let's say that I change the orientation of the filter. Now in this situation, the filter angle is actually 0. Okay, so whatever is the orientation of the wave, the plane's filter is exactly in the same orientation. So the angle between them is 0 degrees. So what is cos of 0 degrees? It's actually 1. So when you square this, this becomes 1. So what happens is that I is equal to I naught into 1 square, and this becomes I equals to I naught, which means that the light is passing unfiltered. If you introduce an intensity of 20 watts per meter square, you're getting 20 watts per meter square still. It is unpolarized. It is not being polarized right now. Let's say if you change the angle of this situation, let's say a little bit in this orientation. Now see, you can notice that the amplitude of the wave is decreasing because now the wave is unable to pass through that filter. Okay, so the angle between the wave and the orientation actually decides how much intensity of the wave is going to go. You can see this over here in this animation right now. So for the sake of example, I'm taking a pause at this point, right? So let's change the angle up to, let's say, 90 degrees. If the angle is 90, what's happening in this situation? You can see that over here, there is no intensity, almost equal to 0, no intensity of the wave on the outcome. The angle is 89. If we exactly make this 90, the wave is completely 0. We've lost the signal. So at just a bit less angle, we can see that the wave starts to show up, the filtration starts to stop, and the wave can actually finally escape. When it is completely flat like this, the complete wave escapes. Now let's say that the angle is actually at 90 degrees. So what happened in this case? So we know that cos of 90 degrees is actually 0. So when you take the square of 0, that still remains 0. So when I is equal to I naught cos of 0 whole square, this gives you 0. It means that we had an input wave coming into the filter, but coming out of the filter, there is no wave. The wave has completely vanished. As you can see that there is no amplitude over here. So this angle between the filter and between the wave actually matters. Okay, let's do some questions regarding this topic. So it tells us that there is an amplitude A, intensity I. Please note that the intensity is linked by the equation A square. And if you take it to the other side, it's going to become under root of I proportional to A. And on the other side, it tells us that the amplitude is this one. So the intensity is automatically going to be the square of A cos of theta as whole square. So it tells us that what is the intensity of the emergent light ray. We're not sure about this. We can solve this in many ways. So please be advised that the equation that we have of Malus's law is basically of the intensity. So intensity is equal to I naught cos square of theta. And we know that intensity is proportional to amplitude square. So we can modify this equation to become A square equals to A naught square cos square of theta. And if we wanted to find out the intensity from the given amplitude, we'll have to take the under root of that value. So over here, what we can use is that if we pursue this equation, mathematically speaking, what does this become? This becomes actually intensity being equal to constant of A square. And if you want to compare two situations using the same equation, we are left with I being proportional to A square. And if you divide this equation completely with another situation, then that will become I1, I2 and proportional to A2 whole square with A1 whole square. So this equation then eventually becomes I1 divided by I2 is equal to A1 square divided by A2 square, which can be equated as A1 divided by A2 whole square. Now, since over here, we're supposed to find out the intensities using the amplitudes, so we'll have to simplify this equation a bit more. So what does this look like and how to solve this equation? Okay, so over here, what we have is that the angle is 60 degrees. So if I were to find out the intensity of the emergent ray, then that would have been A square with the cos of 60 whole square, right? So this comes out as 0.25. Okay, and in comparison to the original, that is actually A square. So if I compare the amplitudes, that is going to give me the same answer in terms of intensity. Okay, and if we wanted to involve this equation in terms of the comparison as well, so that would exactly look like this one. So I1 over I2 equals to A square cos of this angle 60 square divided by the original amplitude. This is A square. So this is basically I naught, the one that we introduced, and this is Ix, you can say, the one that is emitted. being represented as their amplitudes, right? So we can simply see that a squares gets cancelled out with a square, so we are left with only cos square of 60. Ignore this square, right? So this comes out as 0.25, and if you take this I naught over there, this becomes Ix is equal to 0.25 I naught. The original intensity is given as I, so I'm representing this as I naught. So the answer will be option A. An interesting thing over here has been introduced in this way. Please be advised that this is how you're going to solve this equation. Or if two situations are given to you, then you'll have to involve the square we have learned in waves. This is the part 1 of this series in which we discuss intensity proportional to amplitude square. Okay. All right, let's move to this question. This question is a bit tricky, so be careful. He says that the vertically polarized beam. Now, be attentive what this means. It means that the wave actually has particles oscillating in this direction. So the cos theta angle is between the orientation of the wave and the orientation of the filter. So if I draw a straight line over here, according to the orientation of the filter, then this angle becomes 50. This is the first mistake that you will do by just taking 40 on face value. So you can't do that over here. So first, the value of cos and the angle that you're going to use is going to be 50 degrees. This is the first thing. Okay. So, and the second mistake that you're going to do is about the amplitudes. We're dealing with amplitudes. We're not dealing with intensity. Okay. So let me show you a simple method for this. So let's say that we are dealing with intensity. Okay. So it would have been I naught with the cos of 50 whole square. So this current intensity comes out as 0.413 I naught. Now, if you take that over there, this becomes I over I naught equals to 0.413. And we know this is equal to the amplitude squares. So, or the squares of amplitude as explained over here, right? Okay, so let's move at this point. Let's replace this with the amplitude that is emitted over here. Let's call this A, and let's call this A naught the amplitude that was introduced. So this is being divided by A naught. And we know that intensities are actually proportional to the amplitude squares. So let's do that. And if we take this equation like this one, so this will be A over A naught square equals to, let's say 0.413. And if you take under root on both sides, because we want to find the amplitude, so this becomes A over A naught equals to under root of 0.413, which comes out as 0.64 something. This is option C, right? And this is what he was asking us. The transmitted beam is represented in the numerator. The original beam is represented in the denominator. Okay. And another way of looking at this would actually be the implementation of this same method that we've just done, but in a more straightaway fashion, in a more straightaway method. So I'm going to use this technique, which I've explored over here, which I've discussed over here. Let's see how this is going to be used. So we have intensity of, you can say intensity that is going to be coming out, and we have I naught, the intensity that is actually introduced. So I over I naught is actually equal to A square divided by A naught square. And by this time we've established that this is going to be I over I naught equals to being A square. This will be A square cos of square theta divided by A square. Okay. And since we are still looking for amplitude, we can see that very clearly over here that the ratio, this is going to get cancelled with this one. Okay. And since we're looking for amplitudes, we are supposed to take this under root on the other side. We are supposed to take the under root, okay, of this cos square theta. So when you take the under root to go from amplitude to intensity, you get to this equation. So what we've done is that we've removed cos square with 50, we've removed the under root, and we're left with cos of 50. When you calculate this, you're going to get 0.64 again. So either you can do this with this formula, or you can choose this side of the equation, of this side of the method. This will also give you the same answer. Okay. This square has to be taken on the other hand as the under root, and then the equation becomes a bit more understandable. Okay. Because these are amplitudes square, right? So what's happening in this situation, let me explain that again. Okay. So we've replaced for intensity to intensity naught as A square cos square theta divided by A square. But we also know that these are actually equal to A1 divided by A naught whole square. So if you equate both sides, if you equate this side with this side, we can see that the amplitudes ratio A1 divided by A naught square equals to A square cos square theta divided by A square. Then intensity gets cancelled out because intensity is also equal to this one according to the equation, and it is also equal to this one. So what happens in this situation? A square cancels out, and we know that the under root taking on both sides is going to also cancel out the cos square factor as well, leaving you with cos 50 only. So you're only going to be left with, and then again the amplitude comparison, what we're left with is A divided by A naught equals to cos 50. So you take amplitude over there, or you just leave it over here, and then you can see that this is what the question was asking you. You're going to be left with 0.64. So either go by the intensity method and then find the amplitude, or go by this ratio method. You'll get to the same answer. I'm just sharing techniques with you. It's up to you which one you are comfortable with, which one you choose. This question creates a bit of a problem in this sense that students forget that it's a two-step process. You see, first it twists at 45-degree angle, and vertically polarized, it means that this is the polarization plane. So this 45 angle is actually mentioned correctly with reference to the plane of the filter. Now, this becomes the incident beam for this filter. Okay, so what happens is that it is now shifted even more up to 45 degrees. So this has been shifted 45 degrees even more. So what's happened is that this wave wall was vertically polarized, then it became a bit at an angle. Okay, so it was polarized at an angle of 45 with reference to the starting point as well because of this filter, and now it is being polarized even further at an angle of 45 degrees. So first thing, to get this thing out of the mind. Okay, next, let's perform the mathematical calculation. So if we are dealing with the intensities only, for example, we are dealing with intensity, so we don't need to get involved with the amplitude. So this is I naught. What's going to happen at this point? So we get I naught cos square of 45. This will be my I, or you can say the emitted beam is actually going to go like this. So this, when calculated, becomes 0.5 I naught. You can calculate this, and this is what you're going to get. Now this 0.5 I naught actually becomes the incident beam for the second filter. So what's going to happen at this situation? Let's apply this formula. So I is equal to I naught cos square of theta. Now what is this I naught? This is actually this whole factor which is actually being received with this one. So this is going to become 0.5 I naught, what was received by the filter, multiplied by the cos square of 45. So this will be cos square of 45 again. You'll find that this comes out as 0.25 I naught, which is equal to 1 over 4 I naught. So this is going to be this one.